Agriculture is a rhythm of seasons, a delicate balance between nature, labor, and timing. For some farms, stability is measured across generations, with knowledge passed quietly from parent to child. Yet, even the most enduring operations can be shaken in an instant. In March 2024, a routine day at one of Hamilton County, Nebraska's most recognized family farms, became a life-altering event. What began as a standard equipment inspection turned catastrophic when the family patriarch, Cale Carlson, was critically injured. The accident left the farm paralyzed, operations stalled, and a 5-generation legacy at risk. The incident illustrated a harsh reality. Even the most experienced leaders are vulnerable, and resilience requires deliberate practice. This is the story of how one family navigated sudden loss, confronted operational fragility, and rebuilt with renewed purpose and strategic foresight. The accident that stopped operations. The accident occurred in the farm's equipment repair facility, a hub where machinery readiness for spring planting is critical. Cale Carlson, whose decades of mechanical expertise anchored the farm's operations, was inspecting a mechanized harvesting system when disaster struck. Within minutes, what should have been a routine check escalated into a life-threatening emergency. First responders arrived promptly, transporting him to Grand Island Medical Center for long-term care and rehabilitation. While Cale fought to recover physically, the farm faced immediate operational paralysis. Critical planting windows loomed, and delays could directly reduce yields and revenue. The loss was not only personal but systemic. The farm's success had long depended on his hands-on leadership, judgment, and technical skill. Without him, the machinery, scheduling, and decision-making systems faltered, revealing the farm's deep reliance on a single individual. A 2,000-acre operation at risk spanning over 2,000 acres, the family farm produces corn, soybeans, and livestock. Spring planting demands precise coordination. Machinery maintenance, labor schedules, supply contracts, and weather timing all converge. Cale's incapacitation left an immediate vacuum. Equipment failures could not be addressed quickly. Contracts needed renegotiation, and leased acreage required active supervision. Delays, minor on a small farm, were magnified across such a large operation. Cooperative agreements with suppliers and neighboring farmers were put at risk. Within days, the uncertainty rippled beyond the family's boundaries, affecting the local agricultural community. The farm's structural fragility, its reliance on one technical leader, became painfully apparent. What began as a personal tragedy now threatened generational continuity. Every delayed planting decision, unaddressed machinery issue, and postponed delivery carried the potential for significant financial and reputational impact. Stepping into leadership amid crisis, Laura Wilson and her husband Grant assumed immediate control of operations. Although they had been involved in management, the sudden responsibility demanded total authority over every decision. Fields previously managed by Cale and other senior family members required supervision, and leased properties demanded ongoing coordination. Equipment financing, labor allocation, and supply contracts all required urgent attention. In less than 48 hours, Laura transitioned from emerging agricultural voice to crisis leader. She had to make decisions in technical and financial areas she had previously observed, not controlled. The emotional strain of her father's accident compounded the operational stress. Every choice carried long-term consequences. Their ability to balance grief with decisive action became the linchpin of the farm's survival, revealing that leadership in family agriculture is as much about adaptability and emotional resilience as it is about technical skill. The financial toll of delayed planting. By May 2024, early season yield projections had dropped by roughly 18% compared to the previous year. Delays in field preparation, coupled with a temporary absence of technical oversight, slowed operations across the farm. Cooperative partners and investors demanded updates, while suppliers grew concerned about contracts and payment schedules. Laura presented a midterm report, candidly acknowledging setbacks and outlining corrective strategies. Transparency became crucial. Concealing difficulties could erode trust and endanger long-term partnerships. Temporary renegotiations with suppliers preserved relationships, while internal process adjustments reduced the risk of further delays. The farm's survival depended not only on soil and equipment, but on the credibility built over decades. Communication became as vital as cultivation. Through careful planning and transparent reporting, the family managed to stabilize operations and reassure stakeholders that despite the crisis, the farm's integrity and reliability remained intact. Advocating for industry safety. In June 2024, Laura publicly addressed the Midwest Agricultural Conference, reflecting on the accident's implications for family-run farms. She highlighted the inherent safety risks of mechanized agriculture, particularly when informal procedures replace formal safety protocols. Her speech emphasized consistent equipment inspections, comprehensive training, and statewide occupational standards. The message resonated beyond her farm, sparking industry-wide conversations about risk management and worker safety. The personal tragedy transformed into a catalyst for change, and Laura's role evolved from internal crisis management to public advocacy. Sharing her lived experience added weight to her message, creating a bridge between family farmers and larger agricultural communities. The accident prompted discussion on preventative measures, modern farm safety regulations, and the human cost of operational shortcuts, positioning the Carlson farm not only as a producer, but as an agent for systemic improvement. Preparing the next generation, Laura's hands-on education began early. At 13, she managed her own cattle herd, tracked finances, and reported results to her father. This experience built competence, responsibility, and confidence. Later, she pursued business administration and applied science courses before pausing formal studies to focus on farm expansion. By 2020, she managed leased acreage with advanced irrigation and demonstration plots for regional conferences. These early responsibilities equipped her with the skills required to lead in a crisis. When the accident occurred, Laura's prior preparation allowed her to step into a leadership role effectively. The family's succession plan, initially intended to phase responsibilities gradually, accelerated rapidly. The incident tested the robustness of training, foresight, and mentorship, ultimately proving that early experiential learning is vital for operational continuity in family agriculture. Digital media as a stabilizing tool. Since 2020, Laura had cultivated a prominent digital presence, producing instructional videos, seasonal updates, and accessible explanations of complex agricultural processes. By late 2023, her platforms had amassed nearly 1 billion views. During the crisis, this digital influence became a stabilizing factor. Public transparency, cultivated over years, allowed the family to communicate effectively with stakeholders, preserving trust in the farm's operations. The hybrid identity of producer and educator provided both operational credibility and community support. Through digital engagement, the farm maintained relationships with partners, investors, and agricultural enthusiasts. The experience demonstrated the emerging role of media in modern farming, not just for promotion, but as a critical tool for managing perception, maintaining confidence, and ensuring continuity during periods of disruption, rebuilding for long-term stability. By 2025, the farm implemented comprehensive restructuring, Roles were formally divided. Grant oversaw mechanized operations while Laura managed communications, compliance, and safety training. 2 technicians and a crop analyst were hired to reduce dependency on single experts. Precision agriculture tools, including satellite data and soil sensors, enhanced monitoring and risk management. Operational resilience became measurable and data-driven. Laura also collaborated with non-profit partners to launch a regional safety education initiative for agricultural equipment and emergency response. Federal engagement followed, focusing on non-financial risks in small and medium-sized farms. By integrating technology, community collaboration, and policy advocacy, the farm not only recovered but strengthened its capacity for sustainable growth, ensuring that resilience extended beyond individuals to systems, processes, and shared knowledge. Conclusion: a tradition rebuilt. The farm's story demonstrates that resilience is both a human and structural quality. A devastating accident, which could have derailed decades of work, became a catalyst for transformation. The Carlson family restored productivity while implementing lasting improvements in management, technology, safety, and communication. Roles were clarified, redundancies added, and operational risk reduced. The farm's legacy survived, not because the crisis was avoided, but because the family refused to let it define their ending. By combining tradition with innovation, community support, and thoughtful leadership, the farm emerged stronger. Its experience underscores a vital lesson. Even in agriculture, where cycles are dictated by nature, true stability is cultivated through people, planning, and shared purpose. From crisis came clarity, and from adversity emerged a model of enduring strength.